The Hero Handbook, as written by me when I was 13. Chapter 1, Becoming a Hero. Advice number 1. If you make yourself a superhero on purpose, make it look like an accident. If you don't, you'll have all those questions about why and how you did it to answer. Why did you do it? You must be crazy. How did you do it? I want to try. What made you try it? Family problems? Bad childhood? What was your motivation? You get the point. Make it look like an accident. If not, be prepared to deal with publicity. 2. If it was an accident, don't freak out. Or do. It's normal to be scared of your new powers caused by that lab accident, or explosion, or bug bite. 3. If you're an alien, blend in. Coming to Earth for the first time can be really confusing. Make sure your name is typical and you know how to talk like an Earthling. Be sure to try some Earth foods before you go as well. Try the donuts, they're the best. 4. Don't forget to hide your powers. If it turns out you're the son or daughter of a superhero, hide your last name too. I lost my place. Make sure nobody recognizes you as a superhero at places like school or your job. It can get difficult to be hired if your boss knows you run around dressed up fighting supervillains, unless you have a really cool boss. Then again, if you're a super rich technology inventor, you don't have to worry about it. You're your own boss. 5. Don't worry about how you're going to use your powers in the fight. It usually comes naturally when you most need it. But don't go and pick a fight to get used to your powers either. That's probably one of the worst things you can do. Don't make your presence in the superhero world known until you're strong enough to handle the supervillains. The best course to take is training on dummies or robots until you get used to your powers. I have to make a side note. Here. That is the dumbest thing. It's so unrealistic. It is the dumbest thing. If you're, just don't do that. Okay, cut to me scrolling down. Chapter 2, Surviving. 1. Always secure the supervillain after knocking him or her out, unless you want to start all over again. Tie them up. Use your spider webs on them. Do anything, but just make sure that they'll stay down. 2. Don't kill people. Just don't. Most heroes don't, and all have their different reasons. Not killing also saves you from avenging relatives and hating friends of whoever you killed. Murder can be a serious crime in some, or most, cultures. 3. Don't be afraid to ask other heroes for help. Some jobs can get you killed if you try to do them alone. Since dying is kind of not the point, don't worry about asking for help. Usually you'll find a way to repay them. And don't hesitate to help them either. They'll repay you too. 4. Consider joining a team, or making one. A team is a good way not to die. Some think it'll slow them down, but in the long run, a team helps. You'll hurt each other, help each other, and become good friends in the process. And having friends is good for you, especially if you're a superhero. 5. Don't hesitate to smack talk the villain. It throws them off balance, it'll give you openings, and it's fun once you get used to it. The downside? You usually think you better replies the next day. 6. I can't show you 6 fingers. Don't worry about bad publicity. Sure, you'll have people yelling at you all day, but the last thing you need is a big ego. Or adoring fans everywhere, getting hurt and pestering you with questions. Bad publicity is good fighting. And most superheroes don't care if you have bad publicity. They'll help you out just the same. A side note, I gotta say, that's another dumb one. That's just dumb. Anyway. What chapter is this? 3? Chapter 3. Help! You've been kidnapped! What do they want with you, and how do you escape? Don't assume rescue is on the way. It usually isn't. You're just gonna have to get out yourself. Freak out. A cool head is essential to escape. Beat upon the door and scream. It's not going to do anything but annoy your captor. And if you know your captor, it's highly likely that you end up knocked out or dead. Just saying. Sit and wait, unless it's your only option. Waiting will increase the chances of your captor being able to coerce information out of you by ordering food or water in exchange for information. Do not give information to your captors at all costs. Always use false information. Do check your surroundings. Most times there's something the captors overlook, like a space in the bars, a crack in the wall, or the fact that you forgot to take your lockpick away. Negotiate. They usually want information. Bargain information for freedom. Of course, it's false information, but they don't need to know that. Call for help. Unless you're deep in a cave or underwater and can't get reception, you didn't get that phone to use anyway. Use what you have. A bobby pin, for instance, is a great lockpick, or a nail file can get you unhandcuffed, or your teeth can untie your hands, although that one is not recommended by your dentist. Avoid eating or drinking anything they give you. It's usually poisoned, drugged, or rotten. None of those are good for your health. What do they want? It's usually one of two reasons. That's dumb. They usually either want information or to use it as a bargaining chip. They could also be keeping you as a collector's piece, although that one's rare. Figuring out their motivation is the first step to getting out. Chapter 4. This is 4, right? Chapter 4. Covert missions. Now, of course, there's the topic of undercover missions. These missions are some of the most difficult and or deadly. All you really have to do, though, is not get caught. And this is the end. There's nothing else. I stopped writing here. I hope you enjoyed.